Hey everybody, it's the big guy. We're going live for the NOLA versus Anthem match, but right now we're watching the end of the OGs versus Miami Sharks, and right now the Sharks are down 2 men scores. OGs are looking to see if the ball was dotted down, and they're making a decision whether this first one was scored. They're saying no clear grounding by OGs. Goal line dropout for Miami, and OGs have a good 5 minutes to score twice to get back in this match. Miami is now up 29-17. Again, Miami is down to 13 men. You had one infringement, which was malicious play, playing the ball in the ruck on purpose. And then the second one was collapsing a maul on purpose after the official had told the player, it is still a maul, don't collapse it. He went and collapsed it anyway. So now DC is here. They're trying to take a advantage of down being up 2 men rather. And to be honest, there's a Miami Shark player that's playing the ball on the ruck, but the referee is not calling advantage on it. Not really sure why. Sam Davies flying into the forward pack here. OG's looking to take it out wide. We'll see what they could do here. Johnny Powers taking it from side to side. Up. Robertson's in some space. And he slides all the way in for a try. Back on the board right now. 29-22 with that try for OGs. Robertson's looking to slot this one. He was just left of the sticks, not too far out to kick this conversion to make it 29-24. And as we all know, OG's getting the ball back. So we'll see how this goes. I wasn't sure Robertson was going to take it all the way. He did have 2 Sharks coming down on him. And Mueller was in support, but he was far. It was going to be a far, tough pass. Even though Mueller was coming in on him, it was still far. So I could see why Robertson decided to take it himself. Great try. Great try. And Grogan, the official, is telling the Miami players, I don't want to hear it. I guess they didn't like the call for the try. I don't know why. Look clean to me. We're down to 3.5 minutes. We have Miami kicking the ball back over to OGs. Let's see what kind of kick they can take a look. We'll see what kind of kick they can get. Maybe get the ball back. They go up. They're going up, and it went right out of bounds. Not a great restart kick for Miami. Big mistake. Don't get me wrong. Even if OGs had taken the ball cleanly and started their phase, you're talking about 20 meters of space that you lose, or that Miami gains on the defensive side, rather. So it comes back for a scrum in the middle. In my opinion, early on, Jack Isakaro was just hammering Alex Tucci. Unfortunately, Alec McDonald red carded in the first 5 minutes for Miami. I didn't get to see the play. So Tucci came in as the backup, and Jack Isakaro was really schooling him in the scrum. So we'll see, now that everybody has their reserves in the front row, how this scrum's going to look. Collapse right down. In my opinion, again, Miami can't hold. And that's exactly what Grogan, the official, is telling the Miami front row. You got to take the hit on the set, and Miami did not hold that weight. You got a couple guys, couple former New York players, Sean Davies, Sam Davies, Jonas Petrolopoulos, coming in there in the front row, scrumming against each other. Let's see how this set and bind is going to work here. That looks way better. They look higher. They look on their feet. OGs retain the ball. McVee's out there going to the far side. A nice transition pass, and smart for Hughes coming back in to, the best defender, as we say in rugby, is the sideline, that touch line. So smart to bring it back in. And I got to be honest, there's a Miami Shark player giving himself up in that ruck, and actually got a great response from the official Grogan about not making sure he was not in the way, so that the Miami Sharks didn't give a penalty to the OGs automatically there. So, oh no, OGs go out wide, and as the winger's gonna get pushed out of bounds, he just kind of throws it in, and Miami gets possession of the ball with about a minute, and then kicks the ball away. And we have 45 seconds left. Obviously, rugby. We're gonna go into some extra time here. Miami's still 2 men down. OG's taking a line out from the 22-meter, 25-meter area. Um, OGs have been killing Miami Sharks in the line out all match. You got a lot of reserves in. The reserve hooker for DC, Koi Nelligan's in there, former national championship. And Miami win the friggin' I can't believe Miami just won the line out. They have not been great in the line outs all game. And Miami looks like they will be able to grind this out despite being down by 2 men from big mistakes from the OGs. They're told to use it. Again, if you're watching the match, the time is held by the referee on the field. So even though that it might say 80, oh shoot, 80 minutes in on the television thing broadcast, Grogan, the officials keeping the official time. Miami goes to kick it out of bounds, and it actually gets charged down by DC, and DC gets the ball back. So now DC has a shot here, and if DC can get it done. Oh no. Oh my gosh, the cross kick, and OGs have done it. OGs have tied the game with a try there. I think they're going to go to the TMO to double check it, as any good official would. It was a cross kick. The official was on the other side of the field, and he immediately calls for a TMO review. He wants to make sure that Mueller was onside for the kick. He wants to make sure the grounding was okay. He's going to check everything before it comes in. Again, great cross kick. The problem is on the screen, Mueller is such at the bottom of the screen you can't see him. And honestly, the angle of where the kick is, I don't know if he would be offsides. They're looking at angles here to see if what happened. It's an obvious grounding. The Miami Sharks mishandled the ball on the cross kick. I think he doesn't realize he's being charged down by Mueller at that point because he's trying to focus on the ball. It comes up on a weird. They're coming in with a decision. They have no reason to overrule the try by TMO. It looks like the try will stand. The score is now 29-29, and DC have to make the conversion to win the game at the death, which would be an amazing match. First match for the MLR. I can't believe it. And the Miami crowd's getting loud. I love to see it. I love to hear it. Ace Robertson is coming up on this one, getting himself set up, taking his deep breath, taking his look, looking at the ball, taking his look, looking at the ball, taking his look, looking at the ball, taking a look, looking at the ball. Ball's off the foot, and OG split the uprights. OG's come all the way back to win 31-29. Amazing. Upset Miami in the Shark Tank down, Stanford says. That's woo. That was great. We are live here. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram. We're live on YouTube. So please come in with some comments, show some love. Again, OGs come back all the way at the end of the match. Miami was down 2 men, and when it looked like the OGs make a mistake in their last line out, they charge down the kick from Miami, get the ball back, have a nice cross kick with a OG bounce to score the winning try. Jason Robertson with the conversion to win. And man, if you guys aren't watching rugby, I don't know what the fuck you guys are watching because that was a crazy, exciting match. Woo! That was exciting. We're gonna go and see talk about the NOLA Anthem match, which has probably it's either in pre-match or kicked off, and it has already kicked off. 2 minutes in, we have Anthem RFC playing NOLA. 2 minutes have gone by. Sorry, I wanted to talk about the Miami Sharks match first. That was an amazing, exciting match. Anthem's looking good in defense. Our buddy Marquise Goodwin, in the man in the center here for this NOLA match, looks like a great night over at the goal mine. You have NOLA in their home whites with their purple bottoms and their purple and white socks. You have Anthem in their away blues with their gray pants and their gold and blue socks. And we had a knock on. They're playing advantage for NOLA. We're coming in with what most likely is the first scrum of the year for both teams. NOLA has the put in. NOLA's really beating him in the scrum, playing an advantage here on a scrum penalty. NOLA's looking to get the ball out wide to our boy Ed Fidel. And if Eddie scores, I will be singing my Ed Fidel Baby Shark song that we created when he was in New York. Gotta love it. And we're seeing Paul Mullen making his first start with NOLA, formerly of Utah Warriors for so long. And man, Anthem's defense is playing great. These one and done tackles up front are just amazing. And this is something we didn't see out of Anthem last year. Unfortunately for Anthem, they kind of got put together so quickly. They didn't have time to really gel as a team and get that synergy. NOLA coming off is going to score. They have an outside opportunity and down by NOLA. It's 5-0 NOLA. The right wing from France, Xavier McNaught, scores that from some great passing on the outside. And just as I talked about Anthem having some really, really good tackles up the middle, what NOLA did was it brought that Anthem defense in. And I can't see who was outside on the wing there for Anthem. One of the centers for Anthem, who I can't see, kind of came in and was looking to do the interception. And the problem was that put him out of position. It had a big gap for NOLA to run past, and then finally it was a 4-on-3 at that point. So great little passing. And then once they're behind Anthem, that's it. Mignot gets over. That's it. And sliding the conversion. 7-0 NOLA. Man, I'm still amped up from that Miami OGs match. I'm pretty sure that blew my my bonus point for the Super Brew contest. If you haven't joined, make sure you join the Super Brew contest. We're giving out prizes every week. You get some awesome, amazing Rugby Rant merch. If you win the week, if you win one of the top 3 at the end of the season, we have some great prizes from Macron, which we're not going to drop yet. We want to keep it a secret. But at one point on the rant, we will let you know what you're fighting for there in the back end of the season. We already know what they are, but we don't want to tell you right now. But trust me, it's fun. Back to the game. NOLA, unfortunately, with the knock on, it's scrum time. Now, in that first scrum, and NOLA's put in their front row, really started to push for about 2 or 3 seconds, and obviously having a good upgrade with Paul Mullen there in the front row. So we'll see how Anthem can respond here. Obviously, that became a penalty advantage for NOLA. Marquise Goodwin doesn't like to set up and talk to the front row of NOLA and reset the scrum here. So make sure you guys are watching on ESPN Plus, or if you're international, TRN has the live feeds. And again, we have our first match complete. OGs take down Miami Sharks in the Shark Take on exciting play at the death. OGs had come in and really, Anthem again, tough to hold the weight. Not enough. They got the ball out quickly enough where it wasn't a penalty to NOLA. So if you're getting the ball out quickly, it doesn't matter if you can't take the weight as long as it's not dangerous. I like the no call by Marquise Goodwin. Ooh, big hit on the outside there, and that ball was forward by Marquise, called by Marquise Goodwin. Nola will get the penalty and the ball. Anthem, sponsored by Dr. Pepper. I don't mind that at all. I'm a big Dr. Pepper guy. Love it. And Marquise Goodwin again giving instructions to the Nola front well. Gotta love it, baby. Gotta love it. So we have scrum time to Nola. Nola gets the put in. And again, Marquise doesn't like what's going on here at the beginning of the scrums when they start. And this is now the second time he's talked to both sides of the front row about where they're setting up for their scrum. And I wonder if that's a mandate from the league. We're going to find out. And again, in my opinion, Nola's just killing them up front with the scrum. The anthem front row really, looking at the official in the middle. But honestly, to me, it just looks like they can't handle the pressure. And they're getting wheeled. I gotta be honest. It is what it is. It's tough to do when you're getting wheeled like that and you feel like there's nothing else you could do. So Nola kicks the ball just past the halfway marker for their line out off the penalty. And some conversation again with the front row players with Marquise Goodwin. And as Marquise Goodwin keeps saying, just scrum straight and that won't happen. Ball goes in. Gets out to our boy Ed Fidel, who's close to the touchline, and the AR calls him out. And to be honest, at this point, he wasn't out, but his hand kind of flailed, so I wonder if it struck the ground. Those touch lines are very faintly painted, in my opinion. I think they should have doubled down on that paint there. And just doing some slight housekeeping here. And on the line out, it's a turnover to Nola. And then squeaking out on a knock on with a put in for Anthem coming up in the scrum. And just doing some slight housekeeping here for the stream. So bear with me. I'm doing production and the lovely face. I mean, I got to be honest. Mignot and Fido on both wings, so dangerous. Our boy, Baby Shark, Eddie Fido, once he gets going, he gets that 6th gear, and it's amazing. All right, they're bind, and again, in my opinion, that's smart. So Anthem comes in with a big scrum penalty, and I got to be honest, Paul Mullen went right down, lost his footing in the grass, and that's some big momentum in the front row, getting some big cheers there. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So penalty to Anthem, and we're going to see what they do with the ball here. Decent kick, just shy of the halfway point. They're going to get the line in, but they have the line in on that last. They had to throw in for the last line out, and NOLA stole it. So we'll see what they do here. And comes in, ball straight, squeaks out, but went backwards, no problem. And oh man, Anthem making a run here. Some great speed getting to the 5 meter line. Anthem now running with their forwards, just getting past the 5 meter line, couple rolls. They're doing some ball crashing here, and now they're trying to go out wide. They do have numbers out wide. I don't think NOLA realizes that. And oh, good hit by Ed Fidao to try and hold him up. And while he doesn't hold him up for a maul, he sends him back over the 5 meter line the other way. And now there's an advantage for offsides. That last breakdown, NOLA was offsides as the ball came out. So let's see what Anthem can do and if NOLA can hold it. The ball squeaks out, but it's going to come all the way back for that advantage of the offsides. Great run there by Keene, Carl Keene, coming back from the Seawolves. I think he played in Japan. Comes up, does a little bit of a mixing and a match in there, and gets them all the way to that 5 meter line. Yeah, they did. Unfortunately, Anthem had numbers to that right side. Couldn't get the ball over there quick enough. NOLA comes up, shifts their defensive line over. And Stables Flowers comes off limping. So I'm not sure if it's a blood or an HIA, but Ernst Freeman comes in to take his spot. So we have a line out right at the 5 meter mark for Anthem. Staples Flowers was, I believe, a second round pick in the MLR draft for Anthem. And Anthem win the line out, but their maul seems stalled, and they finally start to break loose here, inching forward. It's moving. Let's see if Anthem can hold it. And Anthem really is just coming in, and toward the try zone, he dots it down, and the arms up. Goodwin calls the try. Anthem on the board, just outside the hash marks. So we'll see how this conversion looks. Great try for Anthem. I mean, they had a lot of guys engaged in that ball. Very interesting to see it. It was cool to see. Man, I mean, you had a bunch of guys coming there. It's crazy. You had I mean, Latu, the 10 was in there. I'm looking at the replay. Ernest Freeman, who just came on for Staples Flowers, got thrown in there. Storty got thrown in there. So good on Anthem to really get in there. And Wilson slots the kick, 7-7. NOLA's about to kick the ball back on the restart. Apparently, TMO is looking at the actions of the lifters in the lineout, which is interesting. So there's actually a TMO review of this. Looks like they're looking at a possible obstruction in the lineout prior to NOLA dotting it down there. And here comes the decision from the TMO. There was an obstruction being called by TMO, but the referees are having some communication. No try, obstruction on the line out. Coming back to the line out space. Take 7 off the board for Anthem. And I hope they show a replay here. So 15 minutes gone. We have 5 minutes before the mandatory water break. And here we go. Yes. So there is an Anthem player in front of the jumper who got the ball. That's offsides. That's what it is. This is why we have TMO. Can't be in front of the jumper there. Eventually, he works his way behind the jumper, but I think he just got stuck on the contact. So NOLA kicks it away just past the 22 and is going to have the throw in here on the line out. Anyway, sorry, I was texting. We have a nice group of guys who are kind of leaders of fan groups and stuff, and they were asking about that TMO decision. Let's see. Ooh. Ed Fido called for a forward pass back inside to Luke Campbell. And again, from the camera angle, looks like it was forward, but the camera angle, when the ball goes past the camera or behind the camera, it's tough to see. So we don't have a ball here as we're waiting to start this scrum. Official Marquise Goodwin not happy with the ball boy right now, not due to a lack of effort from the ball boy. I think that ball got kicked all the way down, and he had to chase it very far to grab it. So here we go. Keane with the put in. Keane with the put in for Anthem. We're going to see how this goes. Again, follow us on all social media. We have our Rugby Rant episodes that comes out on Thursday nights. We have our Let's Get Hot episodes that usually come out on Monday or whenever the big guy here feels like he wants to talk about something. We have endless content coming out on the rugbyrant.com. We have our Super Brew contest going on right now. Miami, I believe, already screwed me. Let me go check that. And because I'm pretty sure I lost my bonus point on that. Super Brew. Good bind here. And man, NOLA just driving right through the Anthem players to gain a scrum penalty. Man. Yeah, I picked Miami by 5, and that was definitely not the outcome that we were looking for here. So here we go. NOLA kicking to see where they're going to have their line out for their penalty, and it is just past the 22-meter mark. So let's see if NOLA can do something here and convert. I have a feeling they're going to want to go back out to their back line, to their wings, and see what's what. And rolling maul, and oof. That's great. Pat O'Toole running through, getting inside the 5-meter mark. Now the NOLA's taken out wide. And Nola's over the line. Nope, Nola's close to being over the line, but Matt Harmon gets picked up. And Nola's over the line, and they call that he touched it down. And it looks like he did dot it down. And that is Tongaway. Moni Tongaway comes in, dots it down. And now Nola's up 2 scores on Anthem. Honestly, the only thing Anthem right now isn't doing well is in their scrums. And, you know, Nola didn't necessarily rebuild as much as they reloaded. And Tongaway comes in, immediately had a bunch of forwards on him, Turnbull and Howard on him, and he just powered through. And Nola slots it. Jones slots it. 14-0 to lead going into the hydration break. Home side's looking good. So we'll see what we got as we go into commercial. Again, I'm always checking if you guys want to do comments. I could put them on screen just like this. So let's have a conversation here. If you don't have a chance to watch the match live or you want to just watch and talk, I'm here to talk about it, baby. Let's go. I'm excited. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You should subscribe to all those pages. That's where all of our content shows up. I'm the big guy, Scott Ferraro. My boy, Rob the Hammer Hammerschmidt, has a wrestling tournament this weekend. Shout out to Rob. He coaches the high school he works for. He coaches their wrestling team, men's and women's. And they have a big tournament this week. So you probably won't see Rob for a watch along till like March when their season's over. But that's okay. You know, it is what it is. Gotta love it. Super excited. Ooh, our boy, Rick Myers took Miami by 3 in Super Brew. I took Miami by 5 in Super Brew. And oof, it's rough, baby. Don't get me wrong, I'm so excited for the excitement of the end of that match, but losing Super Brew, especially that first round's killing us. Our buddy Ryan Fitz, sideline reporter, not wearing his all black suit that he's known for, but wearing like a nice tan, just a nice suit. It's a nice suit. I don't think it's necessarily as warm as you would think, but our buddy Ryan Fitz runs hot, baby. You gotta love it. Okay, so we have the restart here, and Nola's taking it from their own 22, and we'll see how good the Anthem defense. And unfortunately, Anthem offside on the restart. Nola has gotten advantage from this. So we'll see what they're going to do. Looks like they're going to kick it. They're going to lose advantage here. And it looks like Anthem was offsides again on that kick. Advantage is still there. And a little up and under kick that takes a nice bounce right into an Anthem player's hands. Anthem kicks it right back into the hands of Ed Fido. Ed Fido kicks it right back to Freeman's hands. And the ball, Leitu gets the ball, gets tackled around the halfway point. Now we're getting some phase play here from Anthem. Unfortunately, they keep going backwards. The back line is not running towards the gain line, and they're just waiting for that pass to come at them. Doherty coming in, and pass gets intercepted by Campbell. Great kick and clear. Anthem come back with the ball on the halfway mark after they were marching in. So great play by Campbell here. that That was a big step by Howard, the hooker for Anthem. A big slow step, but gotta love it. Freeman with the ball in the corner. Oh, drops it forward. Advantage. Fidel picks it up for NOLA. Still playing advantage. Ball comes out for NOLA. They're working it through their back line. I have a feeling they're going to see what they can work out here. Ball gets all the way to the other side of the field. NOLA still has possession and still has advantage. NOLA still being called for advantage here as they went across the field, they didn't really gain that much territory. And Anthem gets the ball at the breakdown. We had a knock on advantage, and they're going back. I mean, they're just showing a replay of Eric Storty, and unfortunately for Eric, I don't think he saw Campbell next to him, to be quite honest. And while he threw it high to try and get the pass off, it kind of went right into Campbell's hands, unfortunately. Man, this is fun. So we're coming back to that scrum penalty. NOLA playing advantage, not really getting anything off that advantage. Campbell's going to put in for NOLA on the scrum. Everybody seems to be on their feet. NOLA wins the scrum, comes right out to a forward pod, not too far away from the scrum. I think what they're trying to do is draw that Anthem back line in, that defensive line in, to try and open it up and eventually get it out back to their backs, rather. NOLA called. We have two penalties against NOLA, one pushing the player with the ball in the back to try and roll in that extra roll, and then holding on possession to the ball because unfortunately NOLA was out of position. Jonah Mauo holding on to the ball in the scrum, in the ruck, can't do that. Penalty. So now Anthem is going to kick, and looks like they're going to be. Oh, it didn't go out. Wow. Anthem misses touch from their penalty, and then NOLA kicks the ball back to Anthem player, and unfortunately, Latu gets the ball and drops the ball forward. So what becomes an Anthem penalty that should have brought him to a rolling ball and maybe a try is now a scrum down for NOLA on the Anthem 22. Latu, I think, was looking to see if there's somebody in front of him. You can see his vision come down before that ball is really collected. I don't know if he was thinking about his first step or he was worried that NOLA was on top of him, but he had plenty of time. Handling errors are 6-2. Anthem NOLA. Penalties conceded 5 by Anthem, 3 by NOLA. So it's a put in for NOLA just outside the Anthem 22. NOLA again, pretty much killing him, advantage on a scrum penalty, and then inside pass to NOLA to Tamaki gets knocked on. They were playing advantage from the scrum penalty anyway, so NOLA's going to decide what they're going to do here. And to be honest, if I was NOLA, 26 minutes in, where it is, kick the touch and see if you can get a rolling ball here. That's what it looks like they're going to do. They kicked the touch right just at the 5-meter mark, and expect a line out and a rolling ball here. We'll see what goes on. Pat O'Toole going to try and get it back to Pat O'Toole. They throw it right to Cam Dolan. No, Callum Botcher, actually. And I don't think Anthem knew what they were going to do. Unfortunately for NOLA, a maul doesn't really get set up and it kind of collapses on its own. No penalty, but they're still driving. It looks like there's going to be an offsides penalty. And Callum Botcher comes in and nope, was it Callum? No, it wasn't. He was on top of the player who scored. DMO is going to check the dot, and I'm trying to see who scored. It looks like uh, Jonah Mau takes it in for the score here. So the TMO is checking to make sure the ground is good. If not, there was an offside advantage called. So either way, Nola's getting the ball. Not sure if there was a clear grounding. I think that's his first movement over the line. To me, it looks like it's going to be a try. Yeah, to me, it's the movement. Paul Mullen's telling Marquise it's a good try from inside. Gotta love Paul Mullen, man. He'll tell you. It's a try. The try was good. So we got 3 tries here for the home side in the first 30 minutes. 27 minutes gone, 19 nothing. It looks like they're going to try and kick for the conversion. Again, not too far away from the sticks. So Dorian Jones should be able to slot this one. Oh, man. I mean, in my opinion, if they could set up the mall, it was going to roll over. I do like the fact that they went right to the prop or right to Mochar there instead of going up to Dolan, which is what you would think would do. So you got to Bochar. Callan Bochar kind of didn't even jump. He was kind of just in the tunnel there. But unfortunately, that maul then didn't get set up, and Dorian Jones slots went through. 28 minutes gone, 21 nothing at the 21 nothing New Orleans. Again, Anthem is just getting killed on the scrum, and that's unfortunately what the issue is for them. You know, there's nothing they can really do about it, unfortunately. The problem now with Anthem is they're not getting the ball in hand to do anything. You had the big knock on um, by Latu, and unfortunately, you know, they just haven't had the ball enough in their hand to do anything, which sucks. Uh, Anthem kicks the ball on the restart. Nola kicks it back, and unfortunately, I think it was Wilson couldn't get a handle on that. Mitch Wilson whispering a curse to himself as he drops it. So we're gonna have a scrum down here just on the NOLA side of the halfway mark with a NOLA put in. I do like the numbers of the kit, the 9, having the 9 and then silhouetted with the black for NOLA. And if you got to see the Miami Sharks game or the Miami Sharks playing OGs, I like how OGs had the box, the black box with the white lettering was cool. I like that. So NOLA gets it past the halfway mark, and they're playing advantage for offsides right now. Let's see what NOLA can do with it. Oh, big hit. Big tackle by Howard. Gets in the hands of Anthem, but it's coming back for an offsides penalty, and Ed Fidel is getting into it with I'm trying to see here with Ali Khan, the blindside flanker. Uh, Okay, so it looks like they're going to have a little talking to with Ali Khan. So Marquise Goodwin coming in. Ali Khan did kind of jump on a NOLA player. I think it was a little bit soft there. Because Tamaki was there, and then Ed Fidel came in, and you know, gotta talk. You know, you gotta talk. That's the point. So Goodwin trying to keep it. So Nola gets the ball back. PMO call is coming in to see who knocked it on. There's some communications issues with the official and the TMO official. So they're checking the tackle of the Anthem prop here for it was Api Kotoa if there was head contact. And it looks like they went head to head. It is up high. In my opinion, should be a penalty, but I know by the rule it's head contact. He didn't lower, so there's no mitigation. So it might come out to be if it's a yellow. So we're waiting on this. And we also have the AR from that sideline coming in because I think that maybe the communication is not getting to the official in the middle. So he's using his AR to see if they can get it. All right, there's a decision from the TMO here. They're calling head contact and foul play. Yellow card offense. Unfortunately, Anthem's now going to be playing with a man down. And then not only does the Anthem player go off for 10 minutes, we're going to have an HIA on the player he hit because it was a head-to-head hit. So it's a penalty to NOLA, who's inside the 22, and they're going to look to kick the touch. NOLA is going to come in with a line out with 32 minutes away, 8 minutes to halftime with a line out here at the 5-meter line. And Bochar goes up again. Interesting. They're not going with Dolan. Maybe they're using him as a decoy. We do have a rolling maul. All-2 does have the ball at the back of this maul, and they're driving it, and it's down, and it's been dotted down, and Marquise Goodwin is called for a try. New Orleans now with the bonus points. So 26-0 NOLA versus Anthem. Man, it's just not going Anthem's way. And again, they're not getting the ball in their hand, unfortunately. NOLA's not giving up the ball. So, And the one or two times that Anthem has the ball, you had two established players lose them to knock-ons. If you know players like Mitch Wilson and oh god, who took it before? Latu are dropping those big kicks. I don't know what else you could really do. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. And that kick is also converted by Dorian Jones. It is 28-0. NOLA to Anthem. It is 33 minutes down. So what we need, what Anthem needs right now is NOLA to make a mistake here, and they have it. And we have the restart kick as a nice kick, and Anthem looks like they got their hand on the ball, but unfortunately it was knocked. So it looks like NOLA's going to be playing advantage. I'm trying to see if the official's arm stays up because I believe it was a knock-on advantage being played right here. NOLA's just outside their 22. They kicked the ball away. They will lose advantage at this point. Mitch Wilson takes the ball on the kick. Oh, and Anthem lose the ball forward. They're going to be playing advantage. And then the advantage is over as Cooper Coates kicks it down pitch. And there's a whistle that stops play. Offsides by NOLA on the kick. So it comes all the way back to the kick. Mitch Wilson, it looks like he's going to kick it in a touch. It's so the penalty that was called was the New Orleans player didn't move backwards to go forward. Anthem kicking the penalty doesn't make touch. Ed Fidel with a great athletic play to bat it back in to himself. NOLA then kicks to touch. And now Anthem gets the ball on the line out on the NOLA side of the 50. Anthem with the throw in gets the ball on the line out, and they're moving. They're now. They call the penalty. Looks like a forward pass against NOLA. Man, against Anthem, rather. Anthem just can't put together a good half. Disappointing half, definitely, by NOLA. By Anthem, excuse me. 5 minutes to go in the half. Looks like there's going to be a change here for Anthem. Trying to see who's coming in. Stefan Bernal went coming in. Signed by Utah in 2023. I know that. Spent some time with the Hawks, and now he's coming in as a prop here. Believe he played football for Hawaii. Bernal went. I think he was a guard for the Rainbow Warriors out there. He's a heavy body. And unfortunately, Paul Mullen just woof. Paul Mullen's killing him. Is killing anybody who's in front of him on the scrum. Penalty advantage for the scrum penalty going towards NOLA. They didn't move that much, so I think the advantage is still on. Looks like they're having a hard time getting the ball in the breakdown, but they do finally get it out. And I think what they're looking to do here is just kind of work on the forward pick and goes here. Get him, well, not the pick and goes, getting him to those short pods full of forwards, just kind of driving them down and seeing if they could bring that defensive line in. You had NOLA was going to be penalized for not releasing, but it comes back to the advantage of the penalty, the scrum penalty. They do a quick tap. Ed Fidel goes to the sideline, crosses, and gets it towards the red zone on that 22-meter. NOLA gets a ball over to their backs and immediately gets met by the Anthem team. And woo, Campbell does a little fake there on the throw and tries to go through the A gap and gets caught quickly. There's about 2 minutes left in the half and 4 minutes left in that yellow card anthem. So depending on how much extra play we have, it might go into some. That yellow card might move over to the second half. We'll see. Uh, let's see. Dorian Jones kicks into touch, gets Anthem deep, probably around the 7 or 8 meter mark. So it's going to be a throw in for Anthem, but they're all the way pushed back into their territory there. Or actually, it's closer to, I'd say, the 15-meter mark, if anything. And Anthem throws the ball in on the line out. Looking to get the ball out wide, but NOLA's defensive line is there to stop them. Looks like there's an offsides. They're playing, and Anthem playing with advantage, and they just put the ball away. It's coming back to the offsides. Offsides, it looks like the back line came up early on what I call the good tackle. So that tells you all you need to know about listening to me about rugby. So here's a penalty kick going for Anthem. And this time it does reach touch. So JP Duplessis has come back in after his HIA check and flip-flop back on the field. Anthem's throw-in is too far. NOLA gets the ball back, and they're taking it out wide down the sideline here. They have Anthem on their heels. Let's see if they can score here with about 15 seconds remaining in the half. Again, not releasing from Anthem. From NOLA, penalty to Anthem. Anthem's going to take their kick to touch, see how far they can get, and maybe score a try here and knock that 0 off the board. That one goes out this time. Nice kick by Mitch Wilson. And he gets it. And Marquise is called time off. It's just past the 40-minute mark, and there's 90 seconds left on the yellow card. TMO is looking for foul play. I guess the AR official called has said he wants to look at TMO for head contact. Looks like Anthem is going to be looked at again for head contact and dangerous play here, dangerous foul play. Again, there's some communication issues between the TMO and Marquise in the middle here, and that happens sometimes. TMO is looking for a number, but the TMO is it looks like they're looking at a hit on O'Toole by Stephen Bernal Went, excuse me. So they're going to be looking at it. They're looking for head contact, foul play. Again, 40 minutes have gone by. We're in extra play. Here we go. Now we have the replay. This is off the line out. O'Toole gets the ball. It bounces up. And now I'm not sure if there's contact to the head as much as O'Toole's head snaps back because he gets hit from behind. O'Toole is here facing this way. The player that hits him is here. They're going to call a yellow card here, or they're going to go with a penalty here. All right, so they're going to call a penalty here for head contact. I'm not quite sure there was head contact, but that's what they're saying. So we're going to go for TMO. But if you're watching the stream, you can hear Marquise Goodwin's voice going in and out. For some reason, the communications at the goal line between the officials are not there. And then there is head contact on this particular replay that they're showing now. Don't know why they didn't show that replay before. So NOLA gets a kick. The lineout's going to be inside the 22, about 15 meters out. So they're in the red zone, looking to score here. Let's see if Pat O'Toole will get another one. In my opinion, I wouldn't throw it out wide. I'd keep it inside, see if O'Toole can get in there again. Unfortunately for Anthem, besides dropping the ball, now their discipline is starting to go. And they got to keep those tackles low, man. Tackle them at the waist. I know it's tough. It's easy to say that here, right? It's tough to say that. Tough to do it in game. O'Toole throws it in. Unfortunately, the ball's not straight. That ends the half. There'll be 45 seconds left on the card. And NOLA's going into the locker room with a 28-0 halftime. Up. And Marquise Goodwin's calling him back. Can't end on a not straight call. So there has to be the line out. So it's going to be a scrum to Anthem because they can't end it on not straight. So Anthem have a chance here. All right, so they're going for the line out option. So Anthem's opting for the line out here. Their scrum has just not been, and the time on the yellow card is going to end at half, it looks like. And Anthem go and kick it right out to end the half. It's the halftime is now 28-0 New Orleans with about 10 seconds left on that yellow card. Woo! That a half for Anthem to forget. NOLA has been controlling a lot of it. Anthem ill-disciplined, a lot of penalties. Excuse me. Their handling has not been great. So this 28-0 halftime score is kind of what you would expect after Anthem has been playing well, and it's tough to see because Anthem was here, reloaded with an amazing roster here, and you had a bunch of drops from guys who shouldn't be dropping the ball, unfortunately, and that's where they're at. I'm going to take a break real quick and reload with some water. I'll see you in a couple minutes. And I'm back, everybody. Ooh, my wife's mad because I was screaming at the end of the OG's Miami match. Had a nice discussion. Um, so again, OG's come all the way back in that first match to win 31-29. NOLA and Anthem going to halftime. NOLA up 28-0. And one of the next matches should have kicked off here. So Houston and Chicago Hounds just kicked off. So we're actually going to move over there and see. Let's take a look. Got a little snacky snack. Just looking for the SaberCats Chicago feed. Here we go. They should have kicked off already. And let's see. It looks like that kickoff man went straight out of bounds here. Oh no. There's Chicago got a scrum. I didn't see why, but none of the time has come off the board, which tells me there's a production there. So let's ooh. The Hounds give the ball away, and Houston, as soon as I turn on, is going to come in and look like makes a try. Ooh, Chicago comes back and about 7 meters out. Oh, intentional knock for Chicago. Yellow card. Houston's not happy. Deliberate side entry. Dylan Fossum not happy. Throw in for Houston here. Houston pushing in the mall. Stopped once. Now Houston's told to play it. They get the ball out to the hash and kind of get stopped behind that 5 meter line. If I'm Houston, I would try and stick with the forwards. It looks like that's what they're going to do. Wow, Chicago's pushing them back, pushing them back, pushing them back here. And offsides. Chicago called for offsides. Houston has a quick restart and scores a try. Disappointing run for Chicago right here. Conversion looks like it's going to be slotted easy. It says it's 4 minutes away or 3.5 minutes away here in this first half, but I'm not really sure. To be quite honest, it again that clock didn't start on the TV production, so We got Alicia Washington on the call here. I love it. Houston regains it on the restart. Just kicked it back to Chicago. Two Chicago players kind of give up on it, and now Houston gets it back again at the halfway point. And Simu Smith come in and gets tackled at the Chicago 22. And they're also playing an advantage to Houston offside. Excuse me, high tackle. Nation Flesh calling for a high tackle. And the 5-meter line out for Houston. Again, Chicago playing with a man down. Harrell Willis on the sideline here. And the line out is secured. Unfortunately, a maul doesn't get formed. And Chicago pushes them back about another 5 meters closer to that 22 line than the Sabercats would like. Ooh, not rolling away, tackler not rolling away penalty called on. Unfortunately, they're doing a picture-in-picture here with the sideline. I can't see who it was. Looks like the Butcher. Houston's looking for a shot at goal here. NOLA Anthem still at halftime, so we're going to just come at through with the Houston, Chicago. Lucas Rumball speaking to Robin Galuzniak about what's going on. And they're looking at the high tackle for head contact at some point. And you know, it's interesting when you have these conversations because the official is saying, I'm more worried about the fractions happening and multiplying because it's going to be a yellow card at some point. But Lucas Rumball's trying to say, the Butcher was the second guy in. So since he's the second guy in starting at the breakdown, he doesn't need to roll away. But again, it's also what the official sees too, So 10-0 Houston. Chicago going to restart on this kick here. And there's about 5 minutes left in that yellow card. And the Hounds kick it out right into touch, which is disappointing. Apparently, for our international viewers, there's some issues with the Houston-Chicago match on TRN. So if you could VPN into ESPN Plus, I would suggest it. The official making sure that all the players in the front row are keeping a gap that he likes to see. So because that restart went straight out, scrum at midfield put in for Houston. Scrum's set. Houston wins the scrum. Ball's out. The official really didn't want to call a scrum penalty on there, and kind of looked at the scrum half saying, "Hey, you should play that," because really at that point the ball was out. Let's see. Chicago has the ball here at their own 22. I have a feeling they're going to do a kick here to get it out of danger, and that's what they do. Kicked in the touch around midfield. Houston's going to have to put in on the line out. Not straight on the throw out. Houston's going to decide what they want to do with it. Scrum with the Chicago put in here because the throw was not straight. Looking at the Hounds kit, I do like the panel back on the back there with the names and the numbers. Really love it. You know, um, one of the articles I wrote was talking about how we should be taking individual players and marketing them through this league, and it shouldn't just be up to the teams. And here the officials are going to talk to both front rows about want some more gap, uh, want some more space. It looks like they were pre-engaging. That's just a spatial issue. And they're showing some highlights from the NOLA game, so they should be coming back in a couple minutes. Again, we are live with the Chicago Houston match down in Houston. Sorry about that, folks. Chicago has another minute on that yellow card. And the ball finds its way to touch. It's going to be a Houston throw for the lineout. And we're going to go back to the Anthem NOLA match, the one we were actually live streaming about. Second half kickoff goes to Anthem. They're out there 22 and they're making a quick run here. A nice, and another knock on by Anthem. And it's going to be a scrum to NOLA at the Anthem 22. And the errors just continue to compound for Anthem. You hate to see it. Eric Storney was shooting down that gap, and while he was going to be tackled, you're talking about starting a new phase outside your 22 and giving the little FUCK because he knows he dropped the ball. I mean, it's just one of those that's kind of killer. That's a rough one. It's tough, man. It's tough. So NOLA has a big scrum. They've been kicking the Anthem's butt in the scrum all night. NOLA win the scrum, and Ed Fidel comes crashing in past the 22 to start the next phase. It looks like NOLA is actually trying to get the ball back out to their backs here instead of drilling the Anthem with their forward play. And just as I say that, they throw it to the first forward pod on the next on the next phase. A little chip kick here, trying to go out to the wing, and unfortunately going into touch after hitting in field. It'll be an Anthem throw-in. I mean, they were looking for Tamaki to come in, but that kick was just a little too angled. Interesting. Interesting they would go that way. I had a feeling no one would want to beat them down with um, their forwards and kind of just crash them and crash them and crash them. Looks like they're trying to do some stuff outside with the backs. Now New Orleans already has the bonus point. So if they win, they get their 5. But I think they're looking for point differential here, as we've known in the past few seasons. Point differential has been a thing when we're going into playoff time. And real quick, Houston is still up 10-0 on Chicago. Chicago now has 15 men back in, and there's 15 gone on the Chicago-Houston match in Houston. Line out throw to NOLA, doing a little toss back to O'Toole, a quick offload from O'Toole, gets immediately stuffed by Anthem defense. NOLA's now going with their first forward pack, but a nice defensive wall here. Nice. And NOLA lose the ball backwards, but regain it. Ooh, was it off your feet? Off the feet by Tamaki. And Anthem get the ball here. Oh, crack roll. Crack roll. This is what I love, that you actually hear the referees in the production this year. It seems like they're clearer, despite the fact that Marquise is having an issue hearing the TMO and vice versa. On the broadcast, you're hearing them both very clearly. So, excuse me. Mark O'Keefe down for the Chicago Hounds, and the trainer's looking for a sub to come on. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Knock on in the line out. Unfortunately, Anthem ball. Anthem put in. They're just on the New Orleans side of the halfway mark. So again, now they have to play a clean game here. They have to kind of get rolling here and look to break through that back line of NOLA defense and really put pressure on NOLA's defense. NOLA's defense hasn't been pressured all day. Let's be quite honest. So let's not hope for a handling error. As my father-in-law texts me and asks if I'm watching Four Nations, trying to explain to him it's rugby week. He's still my father-in-law might still be drunk from the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. He's an Eagles fan down in South Jersey. So doesn't know I'm live streaming right now or talking shit about him. Yes, I know. Telling me about USA Canada versus Four Nations. I should be getting updates from our boy James Dealey. Let me ask him for an update. And again, put in for Anthem. Anthem's prop had his arm down, but unfortunately on the other side of where the official was, Marquise Goodwin. Again, there was another article I did talking about the need for a 5th official, which is specifically for scrums. It would be an official who certified played the front row. They'd come in on a segue, and they would just do the other side of the scrum because the official can't be on both sides of the scrum. NOLA comes away with the ball, the Jackal here. Here, saying the word Jackal. Get the ball back, and it's a penalty because Anthem didn't roll away after it was was still fighting in the scrum as it was jackaled. New Orleans takes the kick out to touch on their penalty, and the ball is almost on the 22 for a line out for NOLA. Still 10-0 Houston-Chicago, with Chicago driving right now. Mark O'Keefe was taken out. I'm not sure if it was a shoulder injury or a collarbone injury, but immediately the trainer said he had to come off. Not a clean line out for NOLA as they're trying to get it back to their scrum half, who wisely let it kind of drop so it wasn't a knock on. They do a cross kick by Coates. It's Mitch Wilson comes in and marks it. But apparently they're playing a advantage on and not rolling away penalty. So Carl Keene, the number 9 for Anthem, couldn't get out of the breakdown. And now Nola's going to have a line out and assuming a rolling maul about 7 meters out. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Again, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. We have all of our social media there. You can look at the rugbyrant.com. If you're new to rugby, we have a whole Rugby 101, Rugby 101 positions, and Rugby 102 set of articles. And NOLA drives through traffic and NOLA dots it down. I'm not sure how Marquise saw that from the camera angle. You couldn't, but Marquise was right up in the action. I'm trying to see who actually. O'Toole, Patty O'Toole gets his brace. With the way NOLA's been playing and getting lineouts within 5 meters, Patty O'Toole might actually be getting a hat trick at some point with only 10 minutes gone in the second half. I mean, they essentially were running a maul here. Broke away from the maul and just barreled through about 3 Anthem players and got in. And Paul Mullen, man, super exciting to see Paul Mullen do what he does. Gotta love it. So brace for Pat O'Toole. Congratulations, big man. Love to see it. So 33-0. Jones slots it. It's now 35-0. NOLA versus Anthem. And I'm just getting the update. There's a nice fight off the puck drop for USA Canada in the 4. So 4 nations. Gotta love it. No score, 0-0 in that, for those of you wondering. My buddy James Dealey giving me updates. Advantage NOLA. Knock on advantage played for NOLA after another handling error. "13 handling errors for Anthem." And we talk about this actually down in Houston a lot, and apparently Louisiana, it's happening where that condensation builds up on the ball. Checking for foul play against who do they say? Bear with me. For Fortune. So I say Fortune because he's Italian, not Fortune. Fortune. Yeah, my father-in-law keeps texting me. There was fights off the drop. Let's see. It looks like it's going to be a yellow card for Fortune. Oh, excuse me. It's against NOLA. Yellow card. Now is going to go out with a yellow card here. It was off the ruck. Oh, I could see what happened here when they show the replay. He came in super high on the ruck, and he had straight head contact. So I can see why that's the yellow. That makes sense. I mean, it was straight head contact when you see the replay. Sorry for the confusion. I could have sworn they said blue, 8 blue. So now New Orleans is going to be a man down for 10 minutes with about 10 gone in the second half here. And the live stream just went out for Houston, Chicago, which is interesting. So let's see if we can get back into that Chicago game and see if there's any score change. Might have just been me because I'm streaming 8 different things here. And yeah, we're back. It's still 10-0 Houston with 20 gone, and there's a TMO review of something. Anthem finally getting the ball here on a nice driving maul with New Orleans a man down. I mean, New Orleans is winning 35-0. Anthem with a replacement, Clark coming off and Martinez, Tapia coming on to replace him at lock. And Ethan Howard coming through, and Anthem is driving towards that 5-meter line of New Orleans. And if they can keep the handling errors down here, I think you're going to see a score here because New Orleans just looks like they lost a step. That yellow card was kind of a wind out of their sails. Ooh, big crashing play coming in by Gaffa. So we had a knock on by NOLA, a knock on by Anthem. It's going to be a scrum with an Anthem put in. It's tough, though. It's going to be tough for Anthem to come in on this scrum here because they've been getting beat on the scrum. So it's going to be a scrum around the 5-meter line. So, again, it's going to be a scrum to Anthem just on the 5-meter line. And I guess they're looking to see if Chicago dotted down the try or if it was held up. So they still haven't set up the scrum yet here for Gold and Anthem, so I'm waiting to see what's going on. So it looks like there's a yellow card for Houston. Interesting. Anthem, the scrum holds up and they get the ball out. Gaffa coming in, driving. I think he gets held up. He's not grounded, called as a hold, held up, and I believe that's the right call. But it's offsides. They're playing advantage offsides. So quick tap for Anthem, and they're right on that try line. Forwards crashing, trying to get the ball in. They just need a couple more meters out here. In my opinion, they should be going back the other way. And they're Ali Khan throws it all the way out. Tidwell kind of gets backed up, and I think they should have stayed with their forward ball crashing movement. They could have went to the opposite side instead of trying to go out wide because the NOLA players were not paying attention on that side of the defensive line. They're still inside the 5, and they're trying to do some quick turns here. In my opinion, they should just be doing pick and goes. And they're pick and go, and Anthem scores their first try of the season. Ali Khan, the blindside flanker, goes in on a pick and go, which is why they should have been doing a pick and go in the first place. So that's 5 for Anthem there. The kick should be converted. It's a simple kick. And Chicago is now scored on a rolling ball, which I'm going to assume was scored by the Butcher. So going back to New Orleans, Mitch Wilson converts for Anthem. It's 35-7 Anthem. And Chicago misses the conversion. It's 10-5 Houston with 20 minutes gone. 15 minutes gone for the Anthem NOLA match. Jones comes off for Anthem. Botha comes on. It's that 55-minute substitution. Those subs are always going to come in with that 55, 60 minutes. So again, if you're watching us on Facebook, Instagram, comment, message, YouTube, I should actually probably bring up YouTube to see if anybody said anything. That would be smart, right, Scott? But this is our first time doing an actual watch along, so it's kind of super excited about it, to be quite honest. It's one of those things where we never thought about doing it in the past. It's become a little bit popular, and got to be honest, if I'm not at the match, I might as well do it, right? Because I'm watching the match anyway. Let's talk about it. So, so Nola's about 5 meters out. As I'm trying to do some housekeeping here for my streams, about 5 meters out from an Anthem due to a penalty. They have a throw in here. We have another substitution here. Botcher going off. Ragus Pack coming in, and O'Toole looking for his hat trick here. We have a line out 5 meters out. Obviously, they're going to do a rolling maul, and off of a goal player, knock on advantage into Anthem's hands. That stinks because I got to be honest. I would say in the next 10 minutes, O'Toole's probably going to come out. So unless they can get a nice rolling maul again, although the kick to touch from Anthem, not that far out, I'd say 15 meters. So I can see them doing a rolling maul here. Nola's still down a guy from that dangerous play, head contact at the ruck. There's about 3.5 minutes left on that. There's 57 minutes down in the match. So O'Toole's going to have a nice line out throw here. Dolan went up for it. I don't think the throw was the best. He kind of had to come and reach for it. Ragzapak gets it this time, and immediately they go for the maul, to which O'Toole is just going, they stopped once. It's a big stop by Anthem. And it's down. Nola is trying to come through here. Let's see if they can get the ball to O'Toole here for the Hattie. Ball's loose. And let's see what the call is here. Cam Dolan trying to quick tap here. And I wonder if New Orleans is just going to kick it out and go for rolling maul. To me, it looks like a not rolling away call, but I did miss the call as they cut. So they are going to do another line out here at the 5 meter. Excuse me, it's kicked into touch. So let's see if O'Toole can get his hat trick here. We're all waiting for it. And a line out throw goes to Nola. Waxapak. It's going back to, I don't think, O'Toole does have the ball. And they're driving. Oh, and they get stuffed by Anthem. Great defensive by Anthem. But O'Toole gets through, and he downs the ball. That's a hat trick for O'Toole. Let's go, baby. Love to see guys getting hat tricks, especially forwards. So it's 40-7 Nola again. There's about 90 seconds left in Nola's yellow card. They scored that with a man down. It's far to the left, so we'll see if they're going to come in and slot this conversion. But nice. This is the second try. He broke away from about 5 meters out after Anthem had stuffed the ball. I got super excited. I thought Anthem was really going to stuff him. Excuse me. And him breaking away to come in is going to – it looks like they're going to TMO check to make sure it came down, that he had possession. I missed what he said. The TMO official said about what he's looking for, because I switched over to that Chicago Houston match real quick. Still 10-5 Houston with just after the water break. Oh, no try. Shift drive obstruction. O'Toole gets his hat trick taken away. That's disappointing. I would like to see the replay if they can. Let's see. Looks like Cam Dolan. Yeah. So what happens is, as they broke away from the drive, technically those two players are obstructing, unfortunately. So penalty to Anthem. And what I say at the 60-minute mark, Pat O'Toole looks like he's coming off the field. Anthem could not get the ball out to touch. Interestingly, again, they did get the ball back and then give it back to NOLA. Disappointing in kicking to, the lack of hitting touch. O'Toole comes off, Lepetti goes on, and don't get me wrong, I love Lepetti too. He's a great player, but I just, could they have given O'Toole another 5 minutes? See if they get him. There is a chance O'Toole comes back in, but unfortunately, it would have to do to an HIA injury. And obviously, that's something we don't want to see. Oh, that's a great score by Anthem. Anthem with the kick across. Oh, terrible. So the ball gets cross kicked. The ball gets cross kick from Ernest Freeman, who taps it back in because it was about to go into touch to Ali Khan. But unfortunately, it looks like it was a forward pass. And they were playing advantage to Anthem. Advantage again to Anthem. Penalty on the 5-meter mark just outside the left stick. Cam Dolan coming off, and also the yellow card should be rotating here. They go for a quick tap, Anthem, and quickly try and get it over with some forwards. And they, again, quick passes to forwards. I prefer pick and goes here. We saw O'Toole score with a pick and go. And they score, Anthem. Keene dives forward in the A gap and immediately running for it's a 7-score try. So that's going to be 14 there. And he's running back because he knows he has 18 minutes here to try and get going. Chicago scoring a try, tying it up 10-10, and they have a conversion right in front of the sticks here. So we're coming up to the second half break here, water break, 62 minutes, 25 seconds gone. NOLA's yellow card's off. Anthem just scored the automatic 7 try. So it's 35-14. Chicago slots their conversion to go up 12-10 against Houston, and it was a rumbling, stumbling, tumbling type of try with the big man Fleisch scoring. I believe it was Fleisch. Again, we're NOLA Anthem. We're at the 4. Excuse me, it was Scott who scored, not Fleisch. We're at the for the NOLA Anthem match, 35-14. NOLA's winning. It is the second half water break. Houston kicking back off to Chicago. Still the first half. 28 minutes gone. Chicago up 12-10. And Chicago playing a man down still, it looks like. I don't know if that's the original card, but it's there. So scoring a man down, kicking it away for Chicago, seeing what's going to happen. So Anthem and New Orleans are coming back from the water break. We're going to switch back over to that one. Again, I really do like the Dr. Pepper as the oh my gosh, the sponsor for Anthem. It's really great. I mean, Keene jumping that A gap, reminiscent of a million times that Cam Dolan has done that right where that ball was hit. So I guess it's fair that they are doing it back to NOLA, essentially. Anthem gets the ball back deep on their own 22 there. Exit kick the ball out just past the 50 and an up and under from NOLA to see if Anthem will have a issue with the ball here. Mitch Wilson, Latu giving to Mitch Wilson. Mitch Wilson making a great counter run here on that kick. Not releasing is the call against NOLA. Anthem gets the ball, does a quick tap and go for some reason, because I guess they aren't as trusting of their line out and their set piece in general. Trying to do a 50-22, but unfortunately the ball was too far angled in. Anthem getting the ball back on the counter kick by NOLA, and they're coming in. Oh, and Mitch Wilson drops it again. Or no, that wasn't Mitch Wilson. I'm sorry. Who is that? That might have been Clark. So NOLA does a counter kick, Anthem counter kicking. You know, Anthem doesn't really know what to do right now, but in my head, they've been playing well with the ball in hand in open field. To be quite honest, they've had a bunch of times where they've done well, except that it became a handling error. So I'm not sure why they're trying to use this counter kick approach. Not rolling away, Anthem. NOLA gets the penalty around the 50-meter mark, the halfway mark. And they just called an HIA for Tungawea. Looks like he got popped in the head there. And the ball gets kicked in the touch just on the other side of the 22. So you're going to have a throw in here from NOLA. 65 minutes gone. These handling errors are just, it's rough, baby. It's rough. Again, I'm not sure why Anthem's counter kicking the ball away, because they've been playing better with the ball in hand, and the counter kicks have not been coming that deep inside. So confuses me, the tactic, but I'm not on the field. Ooh, Ed Fidel gets taken out, and boom, boomfa. And knock on from NOLA. It's going to be a scrum on the 22 to Anthem. Big collisions causing that knock on there. USA just tied up against Canada 1-1. It's a hit Canada day. Gotta love it. Marquise giving a lecture to the locks on NOLA's side, making sure they hold the weight. And of course, in true rugby fashion, the locks say, "We'll do." A red card in the Chicago-Houston match to Chicago at the 34-minute mark. And Oof, Noah Brown coming off. So now Chicago's going to be down for 20 minutes. With those new trial laws coming in, after 20 minutes, a replacement can come on. Going back to the Anthem game, Gaffa for Anthem was going deep and unfortunately forced an offload that went back to NOLA, and NOLA kicks a beautiful 50-22. So it's just in the 22. It's going to be a line out to NOLA. Again, unfortunately, Pat O'Toole not in the match, taken out around the 60-minute mark, as most hookers are taken out. He was up for a hat trick as he already had the brace. Fortunately, he did have the try down for the hat trick, but it got called back for obstruction, which upon replay was the correct call. So NOLA coming in and doing some big work here with the forwards, which makes sense. They're going to want to kind of wear him down. Not letting go of the ball is a call. It's a breakdown or a crack roll rather on NOLA. Anthem gets the ball back with 69 minutes gone. So let's see if this ball can get out to touch. They've had an issue with the ball getting to touch, and they get it out to touch for their own throw in just inside the halfway mark. That was called on Aiden King, that crack roll, unfortunately. Coming right on as a substitution. You don't want to see that right off the bat. Let's see. Penalties conceded 13-10. Ooh, I couldn't see who actually did that charge down, but Nola charged down a nice kick. It's going to be then it went into touch. It's going to be a line out to Anthem, but that was a great charge down by Reese Botham. Good job. That was a nice play. Anthem with a good line out. Rolling maul or about 30 or 40 meters out. And now you had Chicago with a red and then a yellow penalty try. Interesting. So now Houston's up 17-12, and Chicago are 2 men down. Not what you want to see. Going back to NOLA versus Anthem, there's 70 minutes gone, 10 minutes left. NOLA kicks the ball through the try zone. Mitch Wilson doesn't look too happy right now, and I really wouldn't say the effort wasn't there, but just those mental mistakes, cost Anthem a lot here, especially for Mitch, who's a veteran. It's going to be a scrum put in for. Looks like they're playing advantage. Sorry, sometimes these camera angles you don't get see everything you want immediately. Yeah, it was as it was kicked through. Anthem gets the ball on the put in here from the kick. Anthem gets the put in, wins the scrum, comes out, and let's see if their backline can do something. Immediately met with a big hit by NOLA, but still gets him a few yards, and it looks like they'll be playing advantage on an offsides. And Watson Feliki Tonga going in for Anthem, and I own a man through and through. Gotta love it. Playing for the Raptors last year, with the Raptors not playing in 2025, came in for the Anthem. Offsides, there was a knock on by Anthem. It's going back to the offsides advantage. Penalty to Anthem. Expect the ball to be kicked in the touch here. And the yellow card is back on. Carlton Icing coming in for Latu here. And again, misses touch, man. Nola counter kicks to Anthem. Anthem gets the ball back at the halfway point. And it's coming back to another offsides. They were working, and Anthem was working with advantage, and then just went with a quick tap and go to gain another 15 meters into NOLA territory. And then there's an offside called against Anthem, or excuse me, a knock on. Again, another handling error by Anthem. So the scrum is going to get a put in from NOLA, and again, Anthem's just can't get it done. And somebody's down with NOLA. It looks like for a cramp. There's about 6 minutes left in the match. Time has been called off as two players for NOLA are cramping up. One of them looks like Ed Fido. Cam Dolan trying to kind of bring the troops together to talk. It looks like he was talking about set piece, to be quite honest, and how they need to hold the scrum a little bit more now that they have a bunch of their substitutes in. You know, as you get more subs in, you know, it's tough to get a lot of that interaction in the set piece in practice all the time. You know what I mean? Because you're really trying to get the unity, the synergy from each set of guys. So when you're mixing and matching, especially in the first match, it's tough. So you love to see a vet like Cam Dolan really talk about how they got to be cohesive in this particular scrum in which they have to put in. I mean, again, they're up 35-14 with 6 minutes left. So they have a comfortable lead, but that doesn't mean that you can't get meaningful minutes. Scrum looks like it's going to be reset. When they came into contact on the set call, it didn't look good. Marquise Goodwin talking with the NOLA front row here. And advantage was a penalty was called as the NOLA scrum collapses. So we have Anthem getting the ball here in the midfield at the 22. They opted for a quick tap, which makes sense. Another frigging handling error by Anthem, killing their momentum. Luckily, they were playing advantage for an offsides. Now that they're closer to the touch line, they're going to try and kick for a line out and a rolling roll. Not sure that's the best thing to do, but they're Marquise Goodwin talking with NOLA, telling them it's been a succession of penalties. The next penalty they have at this juncture, you're going off for the yellow for accumulation. Listen, he's not screwing about here. It doesn't matter how much of a lead you have. Play the game right, and accumulation penalties will get you a card, especially after a talking to. So Anthem is going to kick the ball into touch on their penalty, and about 10 meters out is going to get a throw in here. To me, rolling ball isn't an option. Although NOLA subs going in, maybe they're looking to try and push pace here. For me, I would have went to the back line on this, but Anthem goes for a rolling ball, and they've already been stopped. immediately. The ball comes out to Watson Felikitanga, who brings it back in from the touchline. Anthem still has the ball about 5 meters out. And they're trying to drive with some touches to the big men to score another 5 here. Knock on is called from NOLA as the ball came loose. NOLA grabbed it and knocked it on. So it was a knock on in the tackle against NOLA. It's going to be a put in for Anthem around the 5 meter line with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. I mean, if Anthem scores here, they get the ball back, they score again. They're not going to win the match, but they'll get the bonus point, right? So, and they'll get 2 bonus points if New Orleans doesn't score again. So it's very important to try and score here, get the ball back, and score quickly again. 1, trying to get 2 bonus points, but 2, put them back in the game. Anthem get the ball back. They run around the end of their scrum and try and push in. Advantage for Anthem. That might be a yellow here. They're knocking on the doorstep, Anthem, trying with their big guys. And now they're trying to bring it out wide, which, in my opinion, wasn't the best tactic. I think they should have tried to shoot the A gap again. It was open. But again, I'm not on the field, so what are you going to do? So Anthem still has advantage. They're back at their 5 meter line now, and accumulation of penalties, offsides, repeat infringements, yellow for Reese Botha. I mean, listen, he told him. And Anthem with the free kick is going for their tap and go. They're knocking on heaven's doorstep here. And they're trying to push. They're within a meter. I mean, held up. Held up is the call, and it looks like the correct call. So it'll be a goal line drop here. So again, we have Anthem, if they could score here within regulation and get the ball back and score again, can get 2 bonus points here. NOLA with their free kick here. Goes out to touch. It's going to be a line out for Anthem with about a minute left of the running clock. So, I mean, to be honest, at this point now, it's going to be just the bonus point win for New Orleans, and whether Anthem can make it close here. Ball comes in from the line out, gets tipped and goes into New Orleans' hands. Now, New Orleans isn't going to try not to score here, but also they're not going to try and make any big mistakes. They can hold on to possession and end it here. Anthem gets the ball back and immediately drop it. They're playing advantage. Coming back. And the whistle on that drop ball is going to be full time. End of the match. New Orleans coming away with a 5-point bonus point, winning 35-14. It was a good match, and if Anthem could just get their handling errors together and their discipline better, I think it's there. Anthem has a really it was disappointing because they did have runs where they could were breaking through the line, and NOLA, the tackling wasn't the best, and they had a shot to do it, and then unfortunately, it would lead to a handling error, and that's what we want to see. Shout out to Pat O'Toole with the brace, and really had the friggin' triple, which was called back, unfortunately. But this is our first try to live stream. Our boy Willie Cully there. If it's what time is it here? Shoot, it's 9 here, so it's what, like midnight over there, Willie. So good luck. Gotta love it. But I think this was successful, and you should see some more people doing some streams with us in the future. Don't forget to check out episode 200 of The Rant. We brought back a special guest, our buddy Ty Braga. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there. I had family obligations. But look for episode 201 to be coming out in next week. We have a couple more episodes of the Coach's Corner coming out, going live Monday, going live Wednesday. Check out Girl Meets Rugby with her second episode coming out soon. And let's get hot episodes as things in the rugby world piss me off. I'm the big guy, Scott Ferrara. For Rob the Hammerschmidt, for Christine Lanham at Girl Meets Rugby. We'll see you at the next episode or the next live stream. Enjoy your week 1. And hopefully your Super Brew isn't going to turn out as bad as mine. Catch you later.